there's been talks about scrapping the governor's budget wholesale and using the appropriations budget.
Okay.
We'll call the meeting to order at 6:35. We'll reconvene. This is the final meeting on the Board of Finance budget for 2015-2016 annual budget. All members are present. I think if we turn to page 14 of the city budget book, these are the items that we've been discussing over the last several weeks. So if you could start on the Board of Aldermen.
Mr. Chairman, move to approve the Board of Aldermen budget as presented.
If you could just state the line item, the department 4111.
4111, Board of Aldermen, 110,000.
No.
No.
We do it just the bottom line, 6305?
6305.
Do we need to say the bottom line? Do we need to say the bottom line?
Just the department total for
Department total.
for each department.
Each department total, all right, it's been a year.
I can't remember.
Yeah, just do
Board of Aldermen.
until there's a change, so.
So do like 4 or 5 in a row.
Yes, that's, I would, so you,
Yeah.
so we'll do Board of Aldermen 4111.
1, elections 4112, registrar of voters 4115, Milford government access 4116.
Wait a minute, are we not giving the amounts?
Oh, yeah, why don't you, so we'll go back and give the amount, so Board of Aldermen 4111,
6,305, elections 110,000, registrar of
Well, you're gonna
voters.
have to read the department name, the department number, the department name, and then the amount.
I'd like to approve Board of Aldermen, Department 4111 for 6,305, elections, Department 4112 for 110,000, registrar of voters, Department 4115 for 149,880, Milford government access, Department 4116 for 15,750, mayor department 4121 for $270,019.
I think that's a good place to stop. Is there a
Yeah.
second on the motion?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Marlowe. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Opposed? The motion is approved unanimously. Keep going.
Yes, sir.
Move to approve general expenses, Department 4122, the amount of $435,966. Community Development Department 4123 in the amount of $113,673. City Clerk Department 4129 for $367,326. Law Department
If you
4131.
could stop there, please.
Okay.
So the motion through 4129 City Clerk, the final motion, is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? And the motion is approved unanimously. I will be recusing myself on voting on Department 4131, Law Department. And so if you could take over the chair temporarily. and
Okay.
Scott.
Okay, do I have a motion on the Law Department?
Make a motion on Law Department 4131 for a department total of $607,261.
Seconded, yeah.
Okay, you just made the motion.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I'm
Motion passes unanimously.
607,261.
with one abstention. Thank you.
That's the,
Move to approve Ethics Commission, Department 4132, the amount of $800. Probate Court, Department 4133, $16,423. Board of Finance, Department 4141, in the amount of $1,050. Permitting and Land Use, Department 4142, in the amount of $1,005,814.
How much you got?
$1,005,814.
Okay, right, okay. Thank you.
Okay, there's a motion, and is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Morrow. Is any discussion on the motion?
No.
Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is approved unanimously.
Move to approve Board of Assessment Appeals, Department 4143, for $2,650. Zoning Board of Appeals, 4144, $8,975. Pension Board, Department 4145, $3,650. Flood and Erosion Board, 4146, $903. Tree Commission, 4147, $1,621. Civil Service Commission, 4151, $200. Park Beach and Rec Commission, Department 4153, $1,100. Economic Development Commission, 4155, $2. Conservation Commission, 4156, $1,105. Veterans Ceremony and Parade Commission, Department 4159, $5,600. Housing Code Board of Appeals, 4160, $400. Housatonic River Estuary Commission, 41610.
Okay.
You hold up.
So we're through 4161. Thank you, Mr. Castagnoli. There's a motion to approve those departments as presented. Is there a second?
A second.
Seconded by Mr. Fitzpatrick. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion to approve is carried unanimously. Is there a motion?
Uh,
4162.
Uh,
Hold it down.
Move to approve 416, Department 4162, Open Space, for $53,468.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Marlowe. Any discussion on the motion?
Yes, I would like a discussion on this. Probably the only one, and I appreciate the information you gave out on that, Ben. I'm still in opposition to making this a position. I still want funded through the open space funds that we may have available under whatever area we can get the $50,000 that he's probably being paid under. Mainly because I don't want another division formed at this point. And that's all I got to say. The only point on this I had was we don't have what his benefits costs would have been. The average employee would be what, do you know, from the city pays? Just roughly.
roughly at least 17,000, more or less, for a single. In terms of health insurance.
Health insurance,
Just a projected worst-case scenario, perhaps, of claims.
So in essence, if this is created a position, he would be eligible for the benefits under, which would be another 17,000, you're saying?
Not necessarily.
Roughly, it could be
That's
3,000.
Yeah, that's if we were fully insured, but we're self-insured, so if it's just routine medical visits, it's definitely not
Wait,
17,000.
Peter, you'd have to payroll taxes, right?
Right, you have
All
payroll, so you have
all his
seven,
payroll
but
taxes.
let me clarify that under the open space fund, we are withholding taxes. So we are withholding taxes, we're charging for fringe, we're charging the fringe benefit cost to the open space fund,
Right, okay.
except for health insurance.
Right.
But the FICA, the Medicare, that's being withheld.
Thank you, Peter.
That's my position.
Any other members like to address the motion?
And
No, thank you.
Well, I certainly understand Joe's position. I think the issue really is that I think, as was explained at the prior meetings, we're not able to really proceed with the status quo, given the fact that it's become less temporary and more permanent. So for that reason alone, I think I would be in favor of the position. Otherwise, I think we probably have to do without it. So just be mine.
I think the position has been well worth it, and you know,
he'd still be paid.
I know, but I think it's been well worth it to have him, you know, make it a full-time position for now.
Yes. Any other comments? There's a motion on the floor and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
So 4 in favor and 1 opposed, is that correct?
Mhm.
Thank you. Motion carries unanimously, or motion carries 4 to 1.
Okay.
Move to approve Public Library Department 4193 for $1,088,736.
There's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Marlowe. All those any discussion on the motion? All those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Move to approve Finance Department, Department 4210, in the amount of $1,757,173.
That's the motion, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Marlowe. Any discussion on the motion? I would just like to point out that this does, the motion and the mayor's recommended budget does include the accountant 1 position that this board approved last year, and is, I believe, anticipated to be reapproved this year. So that position is included in the budget. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Move to approve Department 4215, Management Information Systems, in the amount of $741,032.
And if you can, I
And-
think we need to do a change to,
Well, we're increasing account 49770-123 computer hardware by $6,343.
and the new subtotal is
$7,043.
for a department total of,
$741,032.
all right, thank you. Is there a second on that motion?
Second.
Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Move to approve Human Resources Department 4219 in the amount of $203,530. That is also on a sheet that Peter handed out, which has been recalculated.
So if you could just read the 2-line item at the top that changed to the new subtotal, please.
The first 2 accounts, 411,000 has become $177,092. 9942 has become $884, and then the subtotal has gone down to $192,777, and the total is $203,530.
Thank you, Mr. Castagnoli. Is there a second on the motion?
Second.
Any discussion on the motion? Oh, actually, do we need to reflect on the backside? Also, if you can point out, include in the motion under the wages section on page 4.
The wages section, the Human Resources Generalist is now $52,142. The Benefits Specialist is $41,390. And the contractual wage adjustment is $300. And the total has gone down to $177,092.
Thank you, and that's the line item that you mentioned, 4111000, 177.92. Is that the motion?
Yes.
Is there a second on the motion?
Second.
Second by Mr. Marlowe. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. On the police department, we have a similar wage change on page 50. Or actually, I guess it's a classification adjustment.
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah.
through you to the board, the reason for the reduction is because, as we discussed earlier, two union positions, the steno dispatcher and stenographer, as a result of a recent retirement, we are now able, per the contract, to reclassify those positions from union to non-rep, and that has brought down the contractual wage adjustment by $600, and that reflects the numerical change.
Okay, Peter, did the total change?
Yes, the regular wages total on
No, no.
page 43, yes.
The total for the entire
For the
department?
department, I can give you that total.
Okay, because yeah, I don't have that. I just have, oh, yeah, I don't have that sheet even give it to us.
It's $600 difference.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can give it to you, yeah, it's 11,809,170. A $600 reduction.
All right, I'd like to move to approve the police department, Department 4310, in the amount of 11,809, 170.
And as part of that motion, would you address
And
the regular wage line and then do
the regular wage line is decreased to 8,841,677. The subtotal to 10,520,593. The contractual wage adjustment to 35,400. And
the position total again?
position total 8,841,677.
Okay. And if you could, for a department total of?
11, that was 11,809, 170.
Thank you, that's the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Marlowe. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Move to approve fire department, Department 4320, in the amount of $11,585,079.
Is there a second on the motion? Second by Mr. Marlowe. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Move to approve civil preparedness, Department 4331, for $94,901. Animal control, Department 4340, in the amount of $323,127. Lighting hydrants and water, Department 4360, in the amount of $1,856,000. Public Works Office, Department 4420, in the amount of $267,256.
Thank you. Is there a second on the motion?
Second.
Second by Mr. Marlowe. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Okay. Move to approve Highway and Parks Department 4421 in the amount of $2,580,386, with the very first line, 41110000 regular wages, decreasing to $2,058,506, subtotal decreasing to $2,263,336, and the department, well, the department total I already stated, $2,580,386.
And then 1/5 fiscal week decreasing to
Say it again?
the 1/5 fiscal?
Oh, that decreased from 10/2/35 to 10/2/30.
Thank you. Is there a second on the motion?
We have to indicate the labor trade.
You want to
Yeah,
indicate the
page 67.
Thank you, yeah.
the truck driver laborer? Truck driver laborer, the next to the last item decreased to $46,343.
And the department total again?
$2,580,386.
Okay, that's the motion. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Marlowe. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Move to approve building maintenance, Department 4423, in the amount of $3,012,464. Engineering, Department 4424, in the amount of $372,947. General Garage, Department 4429, in the amount of $1,322,568.
I don't hold that. We're not that big, to the next one.
You want to stop here?
Yeah.
That's the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Move to approve Solid Waste, Department 4431, in the amount of
2929.
$4,630,000.
429.
Sorry?
4431.
29.
I thought I did that one.
No, did you?
I did the
I
right.
wanted to do, that was,
I wanted to stop at that point. That's at,
Want to do a motion to reconsider?
And motion.
consider.
if you would just,
Well, stop.
motion to amend your prior motion to
Why don't we
delete
just-
general garage.
Okay.
Is that the?
Oh, well, yeah. Or reopen it.
Just leave it a minute, right? Leave it a minute.
I would think that someone who voted in favor of the last motion, which is all of you, could do a motion to reconsider the last vote.
I'll move to reconsider.
I'll second.
All those in favor of the motion to reconsider?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The motion to reconsider the last motion. Mr. Fitzpatrick?
For engineering, general garages, we got the memo on the 6,000 seasonal temporary amount, which is an increase over the previous years, and Chris had sent the memo on that. And I'm not fully in agreement with the increase in that for the 6,000. It's just, how are these kids gonna be paid? Was the Flat Tech kids from the, who's doing this you've been anticipating?
We originally wanted to get it in the budget. We're doing that now with Highway and Parks. We have seasonal workers that have been very, very helpful during our peak time cutting grass when needed. And in the summertime, we have a lot of vacation time. So this position, we believe we could partner with one of the automotive schools, Platt, Eli Whitney. Right now, when time is of the essence and we have a machine that's down, sometimes we have one of our high-paid employees going to pick up parts. We thought this was a great opportunity to not only teach a young individual the opportunity to get into a commercial garage like that and learn the ropes, but also help us offset some of the costs and make us more efficient. An example, there's times when we have to go fairly far, long distances to pick up parts, because, you know, a truck will come down, and it will give us that opportunity, give us a little flexibility. We're not gonna spend the money foolishly, and we're gonna spend it as needed, but it just gives us a little bit more flexibility in the garage.
This will be a 1099 account then? With it?
I believe Peter would have to.
No, it wouldn't be a
Yeah.
1099, it would be
That's right.
payroll and with,
Yeah.
like, taxes withheld. Just like
It's
the,
a part-time employee.
part-time, seasonal temper, just like crossing guard, not crossers, the summer help, like we have
The pool.
lifeguards.
Okay.
Contractually, just so you know, it's a 4-month period, so it will be new people coming in. That's something we'll be looking at the contract when we're negotiating a new contract. But presently, the way the contract works, every 4 months, we're supposed to rotate those people in.
Okay, I'm all set on that. Thank you for the explanation. By the way, I appreciate your people today, they helped me out in my street. Whitney did a beautiful job, she's great on the phone.
Sure.
Yeah,
That's
I don't
nice.
know.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So we had a motion to reconsider, the motion was reconsidered, so we'll take another vote on the motion.
Defeat the motion. Defeat the motion because so we don't reconsider it. And the
Well,
motion's
we
already
passed,
passed.
no, we've already,
Right, you already passed it. Right?
I would consider it.
well, then we'll
Vote
vote
on it
again.
again.
Yeah, then we'll vote on the main motion, back to the main motion, which was a motion to approve each
Okay.
of those departments.
All right.
So, is that your motion?
Yeah.
Making the motion?
Yeah, to remake the motion.
Is there a second on the original motion?
Second on the original motion.
All those, any further discussion on the original motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Move to approve Solid Waste Department 4431, in the amount of $4,630,554. Public Debt Service Department 4503, $9,896,481. Health Department 4610, in the amount of $881,298. Recreation Department 4620, in the amount of $809,429. Employee Benefits Department 4710, in the amount of $21,927,006. Insurance and Bonds Department 4720, in the amount of $1,728,250. Claims and Refunds Department 4740, in the amount of $640,000. Benefits and Salary Reserve Department 4790, in the amount of $425,281. Unallocated Contingency Department 4799, in the amount of $25,000.
Thank you, Pastor Nolan. Is there a second on that motion?
Second.
Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Move to approve Council on Aging, Department 4801, in the amount of $1,357,849. Fine Arts Council, Department 4803, in the amount of $67,500. CMed, Department 4805, in the amount of $95,151. Regional Mental Health Board, Department 4807,
Stop there, after that.
in the amount of,
807.
okay, $2,996.
Okay, thank you. That's the motion to 807 Regional Mental Health Board. Is there a second on the motion?
Second.
Second by Mr. Marlowe. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Move to approve Borough of Woodmont, Department 4811, in the amount of $220,000.
Is there a second on the motion?
Second.
By Mr. Marlowe. Any discussion on the motion?
I would like discussion on this. Woodmont gave us a breakdown of, it seems to be just what the city has given them. We didn't get any real true breakdown of what they get from tax assessments of the whole borough of Woodmont. all we're getting is a 220. That wasn't really explanatory for me. So in the future, I think I'll let it go for this point in time, but I think in the future, we should have their whole budget indicating what they get for taxes, what they're paying on, not just this thing is worthless as far as I'm concerned. It just doesn't indicate their full income and expenditures. So if I could make that a recommendation, and if
Duly noted, I think that's a.
Well, a couple of those breakdowns they gave us was one line item, like in bridges, one line item was
Yeah.
10 million, it was 90% of the budget. I mean, I didn't find it, that
very
helpful.
helpful at all. I think at the next year's budget, I think we'll try to get some more information on some of these departments rather than getting them
More
subsequent
detail.
to our deliberations.
Well, it'd be nice to get them before the deliberation.
That's what I mean.
Right.
That would be the idea.
Right, get the detail before.
What is
yeah.
that account, what is it, the different departments, what do they call that form, DR1 or something?
BR1,
Wouldn't that be helpful for us to have before we deliberate?
yes, I think so, and I think in the past, more often than not, we did not get a full revenue and income statement from the borough. But they did testify to the fact that they were strained in their capital budget because of all of the capital projects that, and the public works expenses that they have to bear. So they made a strong case there, but I hear what you're saying regarding revenue and expenses.
Yeah,
But Peter, they have the right to assess the residents, don't they?
yeah, that's what we don't get.
I believe they do
Right, so
collect
if the
a
residents
certain
don't do
amount of
certain things, and they
assessments.
want to do more than what we give them, they can assess the residents.
I understand.
That's what I'm concerned about, the allocation of this funds that we give them. All right, I'm all set.
Thank you, Mr.
Appreciate
Fitzpatrick.
it.
Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Move to approve Transit Authority Department 4812 in the amount of $345,242. Bridges Community Support Department 4813, $350,000. Veterans Graves 4815, $2,850. Milford Flotilla 73, Department 4816, $10,000. Human Services Department 4817, $490,000. Historic District 4818, $650.
And you want this to go,
That's the motion through Historic District 4818. Is there a second on the motion?
Second.
Second by Mr. Marlowe. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. And I will be recusing myself from 4819 Milford Progress Inc., because I'm a member of that board.
Okay.
Turn the chair over to Vice Chairman.
I have a motion on the Milford Progress.
Make a motion to approve account 4819 Milford Progress for department total of $10,000.
Second, do I hear a second?
Second?
Okay. Did you want a discussion?
Discussion.
No? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Move to approve Historic District,
Yep, please.
Department 4820, $650. Health Services VNA, Department 4821, $20,000. Cemetery Association 4822, $9,250. Patriotic Organization Association, Department 4823, 0. Bethel Center 4825, $80,000. Boys and Girls Club 4826, $70,000. Private School Textbook 4992, $20,000. Education Audit Fees 4993, $21,900. School Debt 4994, $4,647,004. Employee Benefits Non-Teaching 4995, $1,198,477.
That's the motion. Is there a second on the motion?
Second.
Second by Mr. Marlowe. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. And we typically return to education operations after we finish up the other departments, so 49,
Oh.
recommence at 4997.
Right. Move to approve education health insurance contribution, Department 4997, for $19,605,412. Education health services, school nurses, 4998, $1,387,194.
Thank you, Mr. Constable. Is there a second on the motion?
Second.
Second by Mr. Marlowe. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. I think if we can start with sewer commission, 4154.
Move to approve sewer commission, Department 4154, in the amount of $1,705,134. Wastewater, 4426. $6,250,415. Benefit and salary reserves, 4790, $52,510. Unallocated contingency, 47990.
Thank you.
To approve the whole budget.
Yeah, we might as well. I think if you could go back to page 97 and just revenue total and the expenditure total.
Move to approve revenue total for the sewer fund of $8,059 and expenses of $8,008,059.
That's the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion on the motion? I think I'd just like, we said it earlier, but I think I'd just like to thank the superintendent of wastewater division for his many years of service to the city, and he's retiring this year. Let the record reflect our board's appreciation.
Second that.
So that's the, motion is made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you. Harbor.
Yes. Our Marine Enterprise revenue.
Move to approve revenues for the Harbor Management Commission in the amount of $271,818 and expenses in the amount of $271,818.
And then that's, you can move to 4157,
Right, Department 4157.
but you'll have to go to that next page.
Oh, you want, I was gonna do the whole thing. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's two different.
No, I think
Well, it's
that's
just-
the whole thing. 271 for,
Yeah.
Okay, well, we had,
yeah.
thank you. 41. Okay, excellent. Is there a second on the motion?
Second.
Second by Mr. Marlowe. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Golf course. Last proposal.
Yeah.
Golf course.
Okay.
112.
Skip it. Move to approve revenues for the golf course department 4121 of $82,333 and expenses of $82,333.
That's the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Marlowe, any discussion on the
Just
motion?
a second of discussion on that. That income, is that the amount that we get from the contract?
Yes. Well, it's the amount of, it's a percentage of the rounds that we use for capital expenses, as well as things like the water service. We're responsible for those under the contract, so a portion of the rounds are put into a capital fund that the golf course commission uses to do capital projects and pay for the water service. And then a portion of the rounds each year go into a special open space fund, which is separate and distinct. That hovers around $30,000 a year, and that has to be approved by the Board of Aldermen before it's able to be utilized.
Does that show anywhere into our revenue area, general fund revenue, or anywhere? That just goes
No,
in
it's-
open space
It's a
fund.
separate open space.
It shows in our audit,
Yes.
that's it. Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. We normally go to education.
Where's
Are
it?
we going to page 4?
General fund revenues?
I know that in the past you've left education to the very end, and then those very last piece will be current year taxes. So it's your pleasure if you'd like to go to Board of Ed, or if you'd like to go into the revenue.
Yeah, well, we might as well go to the revenue side. We won't be able to set current year taxes line 3111 until we set education. But we'll move to page. And we do have a change on general fund revenue.
Right.
A few changes.
Yeah.
And these reflect the governor's budget, Peter?
Yes, these reflect the latest numbers from the governor's proposed budget.
So I think we make a motion on general fund revenue other than current taxes as set forth in the amendments.
Move to approve general fund revenues in the amount of $29,141,335, which excludes current taxes,
Yes.
with the
and then-
following changes.
Yes.
Transportation, 3516, decreases to 120,886. The subtotal decreases to 11,765,984. And on page 5, 3643, increases to 534,138. 3643,001 increases to 402,777. 3647 decreases to 429,663. The subtotal increases to 1,954,989.
And that's, so the total revenue in your motion is 29,141,335.
Correct.
That's correct, and that's preliminary before current taxes.
Right.
Is there a second on the motion?
Second.
Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries unanimously. We turn to page 90.
No, we gotta do, so we have to do expenditures, or did we do that? Page 9.
Sure, well, we can do the,
I don't know, Peter has those.
Mr. Chairman, I believe the next outstanding is the Board of Education lump sum appropriation.
thank you, Peter. So we will go to page 94, discuss education operations, 4996.
to move to approve for education operations, $91,010,638.
Bear with me a second. Okay, there's a motion on the floor to increase the Board of Education budget from $89,213,231 to a new total, Jill, of
$10,638.
$91,638.
Right.
So that would be an increase of $1,797,407.
Well, no, I've decreased the budget proposed by $100,000.
Yes, which would be an increase of $1,797,407 over last year's budget.
Mhm.
But a decrease over a decrease of
That's correct,
$100,000
yes.
over the request.
Yes.
That's the motion. Is there a second on the motion?
I'll second.
Second on the motion. Is there any discussion on the motion?
I do have discussion. Jim, on this recap, the request was $2,326,000. The savings of $1,972,566. That's an increase of $354,000 thereabouts.
Yes, but as I've explained, these are a sampling of the major increases, requests, and the major decreases
Well,
in
that's
the
not the
budget.
whole budget.
Correct.
That's right, that's right.
Those are
Right.
the major items.
Mhm. So we have a difference of, $1,440,000 roughly. And we don't have a real itemization here,
Well,
right?
it's primarily wages, contractual wage obligations.
Maybe,
I think that's a fair characterization, right?
Wages
maybe.
and benefits.
Wages and benefits, yeah.
And the other question I had on the regular transportation for this, you said due to the reconfiguration, and there's gonna be approximately one less bus route. Right now, we have a K2 bus, a 3-5 bus, and the get the middle school, that's a whole separate item. So now well, actually, there's a bus for them too. I know it's a whole it's a generalization here, but it's only $150,000 for cutting out one bus.
That's actually, we're actually accounting for about 3 buses reduction.
I'm sorry?
About 3 buses reduction because of the reconfiguration, but 3 buses accounts for about 9 bus runs, because every run does three
Right.
routes, or most of our buses do 3 tiers. So they'll start with a high school run, then they'll go to a middle school run, and then they'll do an elementary school run.
Okay, what covers the transportation? Copy any transportation.
5,100?
What is it?
5,100?
5,100. Why do you know that? So are we saving $150,000 out of a $4,667,000?
You have to understand that a major portion of the transportation budget is special education transportation. So the overall, the transportation account is down by, and I'm working off Roman numeral number 8, which is the complete budget summary. The transportation is down 38,989, or a difference of 0.828%. But if you go to Roman numeral 12, regular ed transportation, which is what is being affected here, we're down 150,555, or a decrease of 7.05% over last year's budget.
What percentage of our increase in the proposed budget is salaries then?
This is on Roman numeral, the percentage, the total percentages of
Yeah.
salaries, that is on your Roman numeral 6 on a pie graph, and it's 71.25%.
That's the total percentage of the budget.
Oh, there it is, I had that before.
And you add benefits in, it's over 3/4 of the budget.
76,000, 76%, 77%.
Any further discussion? Further?
Right, yeah.
Well, I would like to just commend the Board of Education. I think they did a commendable job on bringing the budget increases to a minimum and offsetting any increases with corresponding decreases in expenditures. And I think during their presentation, they indicated that approximately $400,000 of the proposed increase is related to the reconfiguration of the elementary schools, which I think most people would agree is a movement in the right direction. So I'm in support of the motion, and I think their requested increases.
I have one more discussion on this. Reconfiguration, we have a one-time charge of $427,500 roughly. Is that the figure we came up with?
Correct, on your summary sheet.
Yeah, right,
All those-
$427,500 was it?
Right, all of those items that have an asterisk next.
I'm sorry?
All of those items that have an asterisk next to them.
Right. I thought you indicated 427, I don't know if that adds up to it.
Yeah,
Now, we're anticipating we will not have that next year. We will have that, a reduction in our budget of $427,000. Excluding.
Those line items will not be in the budget. Those costs will
Right.
not be in the budget.
I'll go for the budget this year, but I'm anticipating next year we're gonna see a great reduction in the budget, I hopefully. I think this is an enormous budget for what's going on. I would rather see a 1.13 increase in the budget from what I looked at it initially. I cannot go for it, but I will go for it. Thank you.
Okay, I don't think I ever got a real explanation on the reclassification of the administrator. I mean, if I take it at face value here, it's a wash, so we don't need that money. And there's some other things here I have, problem with, so that's why I made the motion to cut it by $100,000.
Well, I think I should just note that as we discussed at our last meeting, the lion's share of that 100,000 is approximately the 75,000 for the SROs, which are not included in the city side of the budget,
Right.
so that we feel would be appropriate to not fund
Cut them out of the
on
education
Board of
budget.
Education side of the budget.
So if you take the
That's
75,
the rationale.
if you take the 75 and the 22, you're at 97.
100,000.
That's 100,000.
Any further discussion on the motion? There's a,
So what is the figure we're coming up with now?
91,010,638.
Okay.
that is the motion. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Well, Peter, take your time, let us know.
What is that increase on the, what's that, roughly?
Around
You take a brief recess?
Yeah. I just.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna take a 5-minute.
Hockey game.
Take a 5-minute recess.
Take care, Jim. Good night. I'm mad.
I see that.
I should email this early. I don't have,
Is it exactly, I
I don't
don't
have kid responsibilities on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, early morning anyways. I'm in the office on Tuesdays and Thursdays, early.
Now, what did that say? Total increase in the total two budgets?
Ben, I don't know what it is.
That's right. Thank you.
Take care, Chris.
Yeah.
I still can't believe going in 50,000 on the buses.
That's all you save?
I don't know that, Jim, you know.
The $100,000 from the school, I know it was 75 for the SROs, what was the other 55? Was that for every
Yeah,
classification?
There's a reclassification of a position at the academy.
At the academy,
Right.
okay.
And basically Jimmy had told me that, I mean, he had one number on one side, a number on the other side, which looked like it was a wash.
Okay,
Okay, so really, you really didn't need money for that.
okay, and that was about 20.
It was about $22,000, so if he doesn't,
Okay,
if that's what he's telling me, then
all right, thanks.
you're welcome.
What was the difference between what we initially put in for state grants?
News budget.
Yeah. It was almost a wash, but $100,000 difference.
And you want the change for the revenue, how much
Yeah.
it went? It was only a decrease of 18,574, almost negligible.
That was for school transportation was the big hit?
That was the big hit, offset by increases in the Pequot and the state, other state exemptions.
Mayor, how does the governor determine that number?
School transportation. I think each year it's a different formula, or
Okay.
there's an adjustment, but it includes obviously
I mean, it
private
took
schools.
almost more than half of it away,
Yeah, private schools and public schools. I don't know why
The
that.
gas prices were down.
right? Not anymore, they're going back up.
You know,
Again, you know why? They don't know where to put the oil that we have now. They don't have enough storage for it in this country. I couldn't believe that, I read that today.
We met the day before he released his budget with the governor and Secretary of OPM. And, you know, that wasn't one of the line items we discussed reducing. He discussed reducing things like, for those municipalities that have resident state troopers, there was that reduction. A couple other reductions that would affect municipalities, but this wasn't one of the ones that we anticipated. So maybe it's just how Milford fits into the formula
Yeah.
versus an overall reduction statewide.
You going to the dance now, Joe? It's too late.
6:15 was the game. It's 2 hours, 8:15. It's a Sheehan game. I want to see my buddy's godson. He's the coach. Division III, so it's like Little League.
Yeah.
They just came off double runners. Kids don't even use double runners, you know that?
Kids?
Yeah.
I use
Remember double runners?
I do.
There's no more. You can't even buy a pair.
Probably because somebody got their finger stuck between the two of them.
Yeah, right. Now they got rollerblades that are equal to an ice skate. They got the wheels to come down to equal to a roller, so you're skating, actually skating now, like on ice. And that's what all these pros do during the summer. They play on rollerblades. You should see the blade, it's unbelievable.
I know they have I'll call it a treadmill for lack of a better term, that you use your skates on
Yeah.
as well, which I was surprised.
Do they have that down in the new place?
We did that at Chelsea Piers.
They
yeah.
do?
Yeah.
Wow.
They have it's a huge treadmill, and you're skating on this treadmill, basically.
Wow.
Yeah, they use, I think that some of the professional places,
Yeah, probably so.
they have installed them now.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, we'll have a budget item for
When you go to the Milford Ice
You'll
Facility,
support
they have
that one?
those
Yeah.
little makeshift walk, what looks like a PVC walker. It's for the kids to get a little.
Oh,
bounce.
yeah, right,
And you skate around with one of those.
yeah.
Do they have an
It's a
adult
guide.
one?
It's a guide.
Yeah.
That's what they
Yeah.
call them, a guide.
The guy.
The one I use for my grandchildren, I use the milk break. That's how fast they end up standing pretty quick. It's too low.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I'm ready when you are.
Okay.
Very good. Back on reconvene at 7:40, out of recess. Okay.
Page 4.
Turn the floor over to Sarducci.
I can give you the current taxes number, which I believe is first page of the revenue section.
Page 4.
Account 31110000, current taxes is $173,039,037.
173,039,007?
037.
037. So the current tax would be $173,039,037,
Right. Yes.
correct?
Correct. For a total budget, both revenue and expenditures, of $202,180,372. That's 202,180,372.
That is total revenue.
Total revenue.
202, you gonna get it?
202,180,372. For total revenue line, page 8 line, no, total revenue. So we would, the motion would be in order to approve those two line items, is that correct? And we'll set the mill rate?
Yes.
Okay.
Move to approve current taxes of $173,039,037 and total revenues of $202,180,372.
That's the motion. Thank you, Mr. Castagnoli. Is there a second?
Second?
Seconded by Mr. Marlowe. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Do you need the mill rate, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, we
What's
can have
the-
the mill rate.
okay.
We don't vote on
No,
it.
you don't
We
vote
just,
on
it's just set.
Are you through with your voting?
I believe we are. I don't think there's anything, there's no further business by any members. I think that's our last line item.
Okay. The mill rate is 27.88. Last year's mill rate was 27.22, so an increase of 0.66 mils, which is in percentage-wise a 2.4 increase in mill rate. The Board of Education budget was increased, as you stated earlier, by $1,797,407. That's a 2% increase, Board of Ed only. The city side of the budget, excluding Board of Ed, increased by 1.87%. The total budget of 202,180,372 versus last year's Board of Aldermen budget of 198,336,922 shows an increase total overall city and Board of Ed of $3,843,450. The rate of increase in terms of percentage for the total budget over last year's total budget is 1.94%.
Thank you, Peter. Very helpful. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for all your efforts in keeping the budget to such a minimal increase. Thank you, members of the board, for all your hard work this budget season. We made it through another season.
They sure did.
Is there anything that any members would like to say before we adjourn?
No, just all the boards and departments did a great job with the mayors, guiding them, I guess.
Yes.
Thank you. This is not the first step, not the last step, but an important step in this process, which spans really the entire year, and you folks did a great job making those corrections, adjustments, and on to the Board of Aldermen.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you for all your help too.
And there's a motion to adjourn?
Appreciate it.
Moved by Mr. Harlow, is there a second on the motion to adjourn?
Second.
Second by Mr. Castanoli, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you, Cal.
You got it down to the-
Staying away from your baby. Maybe that's the thing you have sometimes, right?
Yeah.